Good evening and welcome to another Women in Cricket discussion. This is the fourth series. My name is Stephen Leslie. I am from the Barbados Cricket Association, and I'm really excited today to have a group of fantastic women that I knew from the time I was a little boy, sneaking in at Kensington Oval. I am so happy that they consented to come today to discuss women cricket at the local domestic level, the regional level, cricket in general, because today we just want to have a really important group of people letting everyone know their views about cricket in Barbados. Now, it is a diverse group. I can start by introducing Lynthia Skeete. Lynthia is the secretary at the North Stars Sports and Social Club, which is here in the country island of Barbados, which is located in St. Lucie. Lynthia is a long-standing member at the club. Some people say she's the chief cook and bottle washer. What I am going to ask Lynthia to do is just say hi to everyone, and after that, we'll be getting into our conversation as I introduce the other guests. Lynthia?
I've been with North Stars for 27 years, 27 long years. I've had several positions within the club. I'm currently secretary, treasurer, and it's been a long journey, a very eventful and happy journey. And I trust that it will continue that way for a long time to come. Wonderful,
Lynthia. And I can tell you that we at the BCA really admire the work that you do at the club, and we just hope that you can continue maybe for another 27 years if possible, doing what you do.
Well, and that would be wonderful.
Oh yeah, wonderful. That leads me into another hardworking individual at the local domestic level in Lana Nurse. Lana's been, I believe, in every stage of the transition for Gladiola as it is known now. I remember back in the day where it used to be called BET, then it went to Lime, and the whole transition now to Gladiola. And I'm going to allow the really hardworking Lana Nurse to just say hi to everyone on our Women in Cricket discussion for this evening.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lana Nurse. And like Stephen said, I've been around the cricket for a lot of years, and Stephen would not know that I was also from Malvern days in St. George. And I was a hardworking person from that time too. And then Lime, Flow, BT, now Gladiola. So it has been a long, hard journey, but I enjoy what I do. I'm the secretary, I'm the manager, I'm the treasurer. I wear all the hats in Gladiola. So I really enjoy being there. And when there's no cricket, I feel so stupid. I don't know what to do with myself. But it has been very challenging, but we are pressing on as women in cricket.
Thank you very much, Lana. And when you said Malvern days, I remember going up to that famous ground in St. George, watching those guys in the late 80s, early 90s, and you guys had a keeper there that was so fantastic. You used to stump people down the leg side when standing up to the stumps. And I'm so happy to hear that you've been involved for such a long time. And again, for you, just continue the tremendous work that you're doing.
And his name was Alfred Powers.
Oh, Lord, that's the name of the gentleman.
Right.
Those were the days. Large crowds at the Malvern ground. And really good, relaxing environment to watch cricket.
Definitely.
We have two other fantastic guests today. One is Miss Sonia Dowrich. Sonia has been really, as I categorize it, a Barbados Pride supporter for the time I can remember myself. For people who are not aware, Barbados Pride now is a franchise name for the Barbados senior men's cricket team. And if there's cricket, you are bound to see her at cricket. And she's also a very strong supporter of YMPC cricket team. And their club is located here in Barbados in Bacchus Road, St. Michael. So having Sonia as part of this panel as well is really important. And I want Sonia to say hi to all the other watchers and listeners to the podcast.
Hi, I'm Sonia Dowrich. And as you know, as Stephen said, I'm an ardent supporter of YMPC, the Barbados Pride, and the West Indies. And once cricket is playing at Kensington, you can guarantee that I'll be there. I also try to go as often as possible to support YMPC. And I will continue to go along that line. Once cricket is playing and my boys are playing, YMPC, Pride, West Indies, I'll be there to support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sonia. And seeing you at cricket, if I don't see you at YMPC, something is wrong. So we intend to keep seeing you at the games. And once COVID allows, we know that we'll be back out to try to at least get some form of cricket. And our fourth, oh yeah, definitely. Our fourth guest today is Denise Holder. Denise, again, one of those faces that you see at cricket grounds around Barbados. She is not just a Barbados Pride supporter, but she supports the oldest club in Barbados, Wanderers Cricket Club. And that's located in Dowrich Road, Christchurch. And for those who are not aware, not only is the Wanderers Club the oldest club, but it really boasts of a lot of cricketers who play for Barbados and for the West Indies. So when you see Denise, you see what you consider part of a staple at the club. So I'm going to allow Denise to say hello to all of the viewers today.
Hi, good evening. My name is Denise Holder. I am a very ardent and supporter of Barbados Pride, West Indies, and to some extent, I don't get to see a lot of the matches at Wanderers, but I go when I have a clash off with YMPC, Gladiola, or the UWI. Because my friends there, we always say we can beat one another, who gonna beat who on Saturdays. So you mostly see me at Kensington or sometimes at UWI watching the cricket, but I'm a faithful supporter of Barbados Pride and also West Indies team. Thank you.
Thanks, Denise, and thanks, ladies. I'm going to go straight into a reality that we are all facing. I mean, remember last March, COVID came to these shores in Barbados in particular, and it threw off our everyday lives to an extent I don't think many of us could have ever envisioned. And I mean, I'm going to come to Lynthia and Lana initially to get from them as in a typical club year when there was no COVID, how things would be for them preparing for our season. And then I will follow up by asking, Denise and Sonia, how they look forward to a local season pre-COVID. Because trust me, I'm going to then be coming to you ladies after that to discuss how it has been now since March. So firstly, as I said, I want Lynthia to give me like a typical lead up to a season when there's no COVID, especially when, they have everybody coming to the club, getting ready. You got to try to get subscriptions, et cetera, et cetera. How is it for you, Lynthia, in a typical pre-COVID local season?
In a typical pre-COVID season, it's always been a challenge in that North Stars always have cricket. We have every year several teams from the UK come in to play at North Stars. So there's always, the field is always ready. People are always at the club practicing and preparing for these competitive matches with overseas teams. We always say that they're friendly games, but when you go on the field, it's not a friendly game until after London becomes friendly. So we go through that, and usually February, March, April, before the season starts. And then just before the season starts, the guys will be on practice on 3 days a week. And we'll be looking to set the fees for the year, which will be the cricket fees, because our annual subscriptions remain the same for a long time. But for cricket, every year we review it to see based on person's ability to pay. And we will set that, we will have the meeting to determine how much and to inform the cricketers. And we will also look at getting sponsorship, uniforms, all that before the season. So it's a roller coaster for me, having to deal with all of these things plus work, because I have a very demanding job. So it's been quite hard to be doing all of that pre-season.
Wonderful, Lynthia. I mean, one of the things about it, and I'm going to go to Lana about this, I mean, get it together, young men for a local domestic season cannot be straightforward, especially the fact that persons are looking forward to playing the cricket, but there's so many other aspects, Lana, that you have to get in order. Lunches, the making sure your dressing room's clean. And one of the things I remember when your club, Gladiola, transitioned to using one of the school grounds in Barbados, how that was a challenge during that particular year. So give me an idea, Lana, of what it typically is for you, getting ready for a pre-COVID domestic competition.
Stephen, as you know, pre-COVID, we were in a bind. We had to leave the BET ground, and then we were like scrambling at the last minute to get a ground to play at. And it was a bit frustrating for me because I am the person, along with the president and the floor members and stuff from that previous year, to having to look for a ground and stuff like that. So at one stage I said, you know what? If y'all know you want to play the cricket and be serious with the cricket, just let me know. I will take it from there. And I approached the Dennis Griffith School, and it was not a problem, but the facilities there are not like facilities at other clubs. So we had to work with what we had. And I think we did pretty well that year too. In terms of subscriptions, every club have their challenges. Guys don't like to pay subscription. We don't have a sponsor. So you know how that goes. Other people have to pull their pockets to pay for this person, pay for the next person. But I always say you have to prepare for a rainy day. So like for the BCA, for our club to register and stuff like that, I always had to have money there to at least do the registrations, and then the people will chip in with their $10. It's a very hard thing to run a club that does not have sponsorship. In terms of the lunches are done at my house. Everything is done at my house. When we have two teams, you have to split the lunch in two, but we managed to come together as a family and stuff and do the lunches on Saturdays. In terms of practice, you have to make sure the field is ready for practice. Unfortunately for us, we practice under the lights. We have the lights at races, so we practice. So when you leave work at night, you can say, well, I'm going to races to practice because I know there are facilities there that you can practice. So I think that was an advantage for us. But Stephen, it's not easy. It's really hard and it's really taxing on. There are some people in the club that does all the work, and some people just are so laid back. And you have to make sure you pull it off. Every Saturday is like going down there early in the morning. Then my other half, he has to be down there preparing the picture mornings, pulling back the covers. And it's very, very hard, but to be successful, those are the things you have to do to make your club a success.
Well, Lana, I mean, similar to what Lynthia was saying, it's so important to got that commitment to sacrifice early in the morning, stay there during the course of the day, and sometimes many days during the week. But for somebody like Sonia and Denise, I'm coming to Sonia now, they're avid supporters. So they sometimes come to the club and they almost what you would consider come to see the finished product. But what I want to know from Sonia, has she seen anything in her years watching cricket at YMPC that really excited her, or she thinks that you should look at the BCA, could look at helping? Because I know the ground very well at Belkers Road. How has your experience been as a person going there to watch and support YMPC over the last 2 years pre-COVID?
Stephen, it can be very frustrating because on many occasions, frustrating because on many occasions you have to walk from home in the hospital, and that takes up a lot of time.
True.
That's the only problem I have with YMPC is that we have a lot of lost balls. The ground is small, it's small, you can't do anything about it, so you have to work with what you have. But I enjoy watching cricket at YMPC. I enjoy watching Dwayne Smith. I enjoy watching Dowrich. I like to see those lost balls sometimes, you know?
But I'm going to ask a question before we go to Denise. There's this train of thought, because I grew up in an area very close to Bacchus Road, that the environs that, you know, it could be a little bit what you consider middle class, or certainly on the middle class, a bit rough. How has that ever impacted you when you went to watch games at Bacchus Road?
Yes, you have to be quiet and listen to the things that are happening around you and be vigilant. You know, it's the environment. You have to work with the environment. And honestly, I have never been to YMPC and found any trouble. You get a little noisy. You hear a few words that you probably would not want to hear. But outside of that, the people come out, they support YMPC, they keep a lot of noise, and we enjoy that. We enjoy people from around that area.
Wonderful, because I mean, Denise now is the almost opposite. She's at the oldest club in Barbados, Wanderers, Devils Road. I played there for like 4 seasons as a younger cricketer, so I know how it is when you drive in there. It being for you, Denise, have you seen anything when you watching games at Wanderers that you admire, that you're excited about, or you think that can improve?
Well, for the Wanderers Club, I know the people at the club are like a family. They band together. They help out. Well, I know the days when I used to pay my son's subscriptions, and it used to come every beginning of the year, and I used to pay his at that point in time. I used to pay his subscriptions and stuff like that. But the only thing I have with Wanderers is parking. You don't have anywhere to park if you don't get there early. So you're like, you stick here, you stick there, or you're up on somebody's house, or try to find somewhere to park. But Wanderers is an old club, very old club, a very kind of elite club, you know. But other than that, I have no problems. I have no problems up there. From the days, like Saturday mornings, I up there for cricket, and with my son. I have never had any problems up there. They get a little loud, they quarrel, they fight, they get a little cuss words in between. But all in all, any day it's like a family.
And I'm really happy to hear that, because I remember years ago, Wanderers, there was when the Barbados Cricket Association began promotion and relegation, and Wanderers, as the oldest club, established back in 1877, was one of the clubs that was asked to play at a level just below the top. And there was this discussion going on in Barbados. I wonder what's going to happen with these young men, and they were calling so many names of cricketers like Craig Braffett, Raymond Reefer, Jason Holder and company. Are they going to leave to play at the top level? And those young men stuck together. I mean, you could tell everybody about it. They stuck together and worked really hard. How was that as part of that experience for you, Denise?
Well,
watching that happen?
I wasn't too much involved, but I remember it well. And I remember I asking my son if he's going to leave, and he said no. He's staying. So they stood, and they kept it together, and they worked hard to bring them back to the level that they wanted to be.
Wonderful. I'm gonna come to Lynthia, because something that's is here to be asked. But I remember Lynthia back North Stars, again pre-COVID, when the opportunity to host first class cricket came to Barbados, and there was the traditional Kensington Oval, which you know is in Mecca. And then we expanded cricket to a number of other venues, including your venue at North Stars. I really want to know, again, without divulging everything, how it felt to be given the opportunity to host first. And then that period came after hosting a few times, where then Cricket West Indies, known as West Indies Board at that time, then decided, well, we're not really going to be too favorably going back to North Stars. But how was that? Being able to host and then having that not so good news a couple years after.
Okay, that was amazing. That was such a wonderful experience, a wonderful feeling. I must speak about the late Ashley Toppin. Ashley Toppin was very instrumental in organizing, pulling together all the members of the club, the people in the neighborhood, to make sure that everything was in place, that the ground was immaculate. Andy Yearwood with the wicket, to make sure everything was in place. We were so thrilled. The community of Crab Hill, all the surrounding areas, everybody was so happy that cricket was coming to North Stars. We did everything that we could to make sure that people came to the country and had a wonderful experience. And I'm sure to this day, a lot of the West Indies, Barbadian cricketers actually love that ground. They always, when they see me, they always say, that was one of the best experiences we had in Barbados, playing at North Stars ground. So obviously, when it was snatched away from us, we were devastated. Ashley was so hurt because there are some grounds that are so much smaller than North Stars. That was the reason we were given at the time. And we know that there were international grounds that were smaller than that one. So we were of the view that it had to be a different reason. So anyway, we still reminisce when we go to the club, when we have our club nights, we reminisce of those days, those wonderful days. When I met Dwayne Smith and all those guys, you know, Courtney Brown, all those came to North Stars, and we developed relationships. So anytime that we have, what should I say, special games, friendly games, we would invite some of the guys to come down and be part of them, especially when we had the Ashley Toppin tournament. And those guys were really thrilled to come and play at North Stars. So yes, it was very exciting.
And I will say this is even before I joined the BCA in 2015. I always would admire the quality and commitment of persons like the late Ashley, the current curator there, who's, I think, Andy Yewa, who's one of the best, I think, in terms of commitment in Barbados. And when I joined the BCA,
much so that the BCA invited him to come to Kensington at sometimes.
Yeah, and I was going to say that when I joined the BCA, I was in a position then that I could influence a few people, and we asked Andy to join because you wanted to not only reward the quality, but you wanted to be able to bring that to the best venue that you have in the island, which is here at Kensington. And I just want you guys at North Stars, particularly persons who are doing all that hard work. I'm going right to one of the hard workers, Lana, because she said, you know, everything comes, or, you know, it really is concentrated between 3 or 5 people in a club. Let's be real. We may have a club that got 20 or 50 people on the field in 2 or 3 different teams, but it's really come down to a few people doing that, what I call donkey work. So Lana, I'm coming to you and asking you that transition of the venue, not just the school ground I'm talking about, but here you are now at Rice's ground, which has from time to time hosted a lot of exciting night cricket. But people like to bring down the whole notion, oh man, that's a little 3s and 4s ground. But you know that you are making the best of the resources you have. Tell me how it is, not quite the North Stars quality that did for Stars cricket, but you're the feature night cricket ground probably since Lumber Company days in the 90s and early 2000s. Everybody want to go races. How has it been for you getting that ground ready and making it happen every so often?
Well, like I say, Adrian Brathwaite, when they have the night cricket and stuff like that, he hosts a tournament there. And he makes sure that that ground is in pristine condition. You can see your face in that wicket when he's finished with it, along with his team. So the transition from Dayton Griffith to Rice's I was very thrilled about that because it's like 2 minutes from my house, and I don't have to like get up, take the food to Dayton Griffith, have to rush back to Rice's. So it was more central. So it made it easy for us to operate. Then you have to deal with the drinks. And then, as you know, Stephen, there's always food and drinks at Rice's for sale. And a lot of people come to Rice's to get drinks, chicken wings, fish cakes, macaroni pie, steak, grilled fish. Everything happens at Rice's. So the aspect of Rice's that I'm thrilled about. But going back to the cricket now, people are saying, oh, Rice's is so small, but the most exciting cricket players at Rice's. And I know that my men at Guardiola, they know that ground in, out. And people say, oh, man, I can lick this ball so far and hold it on the boundary. Many times I say it happens. So, but the paramount for me is that at the end of the day, your club have to win championships. And you have to settle for all your hard work to achieve something at the end of the day.
That's right.
And that is why last year I was so thrilled when we won the T20 Cup, because it was satisfying to me and my team. So like I say, I like the aspect about getting ready for the cricket and stuff like that, but it's very hard. You have to have committed people. You have to have people in place that if plan A falls, plan B will step into place. And you would have people to like more or less back you, you know, and sometimes, to be honest, I just feel like giving up. But then when I look around and I see Adrian and I see Ashley and I see Randy and I see these people, my strength is renewed.
Well said, Lana. And I could not only hear the passion coming from both you and Lynthia, but I could see it. And that is what we want. And the beauty about what we're doing even today is to see that it is women who are driving some of these important clubs and managing the day-to-day affairs. And I'm going to come over to Sonia now to talk now about that post-COVID era. Certainly, as I said, March 2020, we had COVID that caused Barbados to have to shut down. Then the domestic season ended only being T20s. It was exciting for some people, knowing that only T20s are going to play. Some people were still saying they wanted to play the other versions. But in the case of Sonia, I want to find out first if COVID did, up to this point, impact you or anybody close to you at all. If you could tell me how that has been for you. But then more importantly, that opportunity post-COVID, having to put on a mask, having to sanitize and social distance, how did that impact you then when you had the opportunity to go to YMPC? Because last year they had 9 preliminary matches in the T20, and I'm sure that you had a chance to see some of them. So how was that when you had to do all these adjustments? And I'm going to be—
Well, I didn't have a lot of the cricket during the COVID because I had some personal challenges at home. So I didn't get out to see a lot of the cricket at that time. So I can't speak about going out to cricket with a mask. I have not done it. Stephen.
Okay.
That's the honest truth.
And in the case of Denise, I mean, again, I don't know how it might have impacted you, if there was anyone close to you or anything, but how did that transition go going into a COVID environment?
The COVID situation didn't affect me per se too much. I did not go to many. I think I only went to one match at Wonders, which was a match between UWI and Wonders, and actually that match I think got called off because the rain fell. But it's a little difficult going and sitting and going on a mask at cricket. I went to a couple matches at UWI with Mrs. Corbin as per se, because she dragged me out on Saturdays, say, come on, you be, and I would sit there and, oh dear, another wicket gone. I would sit there and I would watch the matches, and you know, you got on the mask and you're trying to social distance, and people quarreling, and it's difficult, very difficult at cricket with a mask on. It is very, very difficult. But hopefully, and I'm praying that this country opens back, so because I'm bored at home on Saturdays. I have nothing to do. There's no cricket to watch, nothing. I gotta watch West Indies here now on TV playing cricket or what. But I'm hoping and praying that we get back to having Saturday cricket, so that you can get out the house and go and socialize and enjoy a good game of cricket, enjoy the guys arguing. I mean, oh, that's fun for me. I love to go to Kensington and sit down and hear the men arguing. I want to get back in that atmosphere, definitely get back in the atmosphere. And I'm hoping, beyond hope, that the government allows us to see some cricket at Kensington next month.
Well, I can come to Lynthia and Lana now, because there are persons who experience club life in the COVID era. I remember when the Barbados Cricket Association donated, well, for the first time, uniforms to everyone, but the more important things that were related to COVID is that we also helped out with some hand sanitizer, some handheld thermometers. How was that, getting those 1 or 2 items? Was that useful in terms of trying to manage how the whole new environment was in the club. How was that for you, Lynthia?
We got the shirts from the BCA, but North Stars pull out of pocket to get the hand sanitizers and all the other thermometers and everything. But then after we had purchased ours, then we got later in the season from the BCA, so we had 2 sets of equipment after. But it was a challenge. I only had 1 match. I only went to 1 match for the season because my mom is 96. So I stayed away from everything to make sure that I protected her. The only thing that I did during that period was to go to work. I didn't go to the supermarket, nothing. So I didn't go through the season at North Stars for the actual cricket. But I would go to the club with regards to the club nights, the meetings, the practice, and that kind of stuff. But I stayed away as much as possible during that time because I could not have felt comfortable putting her at risk.
Alana, what about you? How after the BCA made the contribution of hand sanitizer and the thermometers, and did that at all assist you in getting all the work that you have to do on Saturdays done at races?
Most definitely, because buy 2 thermometers, saying they have 2 teams, I have to buy the hand sanitizer. It was a good gesture on the part of BCA. And then coming to the actual protocols and stuff, when you have to man the pavilion and you know it's hard because you would tell the spectators you cannot use the bathroom unless you have a mask. You can't come into the pavilion unless you have a mask, and you know how that goes, Stephen. Everybody is up in arms with this mask thing. I have to wear my mask. All the members of the cricket have to wear their masks. So I so find that spectators are some of the hardest people that you have to deal with. But me, I take my stand. I stand at that door, and Stephen, you will know when you came to that club that day, you had to go through the protocols like anybody else. You was not coming in there unless you had your hand sanitized and your mask on, and you could tell anybody that Lana stood at that door and make sure that everybody that came into that pavilion was sanitized. Because I cannot take that risk. I am vulnerable, and I have my family, and even with the Barbados team where my son played for, and every minute he has to get a COVID test, and it's unsettling because you don't know if it's gonna come back negative, if it's gonna come back positive, and everybody it's not a really good feeling. But thank God everything went well last season. Hopefully the government would ease up the protocols so that you can get some cricket, because in this time, people don't have anything to do in Barbados on the Saturdays. I miss feeding the people on Saturdays. I miss the cricket on Saturdays. So hopefully everybody will do what they have to do and make this country COVID free, and that we can get back out on the park.
Well, I'm glad again. I mean, I'm going to go right into Kensington Oval and watching exciting matches. I'm coming to Sonia first and then Denise. Sonia, how has it been being able to see cricket at Kensington in general, whether it's a day game, day and night game, whatever format, and then the transition, oh Lord, to what we had to experience where we had to stay away? How has it been for you, Sonia?
Oh man, it has been hard. I miss cricket so much. As Denise said, I miss the noise in the stand. I miss seeing people, because they're people that you can guarantee that when you get to Kensington, they're there. I miss those people. I don't even see them on the road.
Wow.
I need to get back to Kensington to see certain people.
True.
Right?
It's true.
Oh gosh, I miss cricket so bad. And for me, when you see the Pride is playing, you know, Stephen, I can't work. I can't work.
Yes. I've got personal experiences, and I would say that later.
You understand? I have to be there. I have to be there. Even if Shane is not playing in the Pride and he's away on West Indies duty, you can guarantee that I am still at Kensington to support those other guys.
True.
And that is what I miss. I miss my cricket. Stephen, you need to get on the ball. You need to get on the ball. We need to get back at Kensington soon.
I will tell you what we are trying to do a little bit later, but I'll go quickly to Denise. How has it been for you knowing that you're watching cricket at Kensington? All of a sudden this thing shut down and you're gonna be picking. What excitement does it bring to you leading into any game at Kensington Oval?
It's
Barbados
hard.
Pride?
I remember Barbados Pride playing, and again, Jason probably will be off on West Indies duties, but I go on to support the other guys and stuff, right? And I used to work just next door to Kensington, so you will see me squeeze out the morning and run across like Kensington and see little baton, and they would tell Sonia is already there, Lana is already there, but I'm the only body that working that gotta go back to work. So I run out now and I come and I check, and then I go back in to work. And by lunchtime, I tell the others at work, I'm going to Kensington for lunch. And I go over and I spend an hour and a half, and then you're going back to work. I will go back. I go back, and then I will go back to work. And then I will sneak out early in the evening then and say, okay, I come to watch the end of the game. And then I'm hoping and praying that Saturday will come so that I can go down on Saturday, all day Sunday. But I really miss cricket. As Sonia said, there are people that we only see at cricket.
Yeah, cricket, yeah.
And I mean, it's like a little family there in that lower level in the 3W stand. And we enjoy ourselves there. I mean, you got people that, you know, hear not cussing our children, but we don't care. We just listen. And when we're ready, we look back at them and they shut up and we sit down there. But what I will say, I really, really miss it. And as Sonia said, Stephen, we got to get back cricket at Kensington. We got to see the Pride playing. We have to get back cricket at the grounds so that we can go around on Saturdays and watch the cricket. As I tell you, I'm bored on Saturdays. I know what to do with myself. Get her, I choose dinner, cricket, like water. You know what I can do today? But when I go there, I see people, you see people, because I'm not a going out person as such. So I look forward to the cricket. That's my outing. And I prefer like day night matches sometimes as opposed to all day matches. Like if you have the one days, I would like the one days to be like day night. But the Pride now, that's all day. I could still go out to that, but my preference would be a day and night match. You see, day into night. Although I find that we don't do too well in the evening hours, the 6 o'clock period.
Late period.
So you sound like a good observer, but that's so
Twilight.
That's true.
We don't do very well in the twilight area, in the twilight part. But I really, really want the cricket to come back so that, I mean, no, I'm not working. I need to get back out there. Now I got more time now to watch the cricket. So I am not working, so I know COVID, so I can't watch no cricket. I need the cricket to come back.
But I'm gonna come to Lana and then Lynthia about experiences at Kensington for when they come to games. But I want, when they come to Lynthia, that she thinks about how that felt hosting Barbados at North Stars too. Because coming to Kensington is one thing, but how it felt putting those guys into your infrastructure.
Oh, there, another one gone.
Lana, tell me how it has been for you. Looking forward again to watching Barbados Pride. Don't care the format, don't care whether it's day or day and night. How much have you missed it, and what does it mean to you to be part of supporting that group of fellas?
Well, we get out today.
Well, you're gonna ask Stephen. You know that I real offset right now that they got to Kensington. I real offset because we looking to go to Kensington, carry picnic baskets, and
you're right.
Watch the cricket. You see people, yes, that you don't even sometimes see on the road.
No, you don't.
And then sometimes when you see everybody say, you must feel real ignorant now that they ain't gonna cricket the right. How you mean? How you know so good? You know? And it's been a good camaraderie down there. Everybody's be together. I really would like the cricket to come back to Kensington. You know?
Lynthia is gonna let me know what, when she does make it to Kensington, how it is watching these young men, but certainly that experience she had hosting those games as well at North Stars. Lynthia, really, how has it been when you came to Kensington?
I used to enjoy going to Kensington. Like Denise, I work close to Kensington. So I used to sneak out in the morning and meet Ashley there and then go back to work and then sneak out again and, and leave work early and go to watch cricket. So I enjoyed my time at Kensington. Ashley took me to Kensington. That was my first experience going there with him. So I'm going to be honest. After Ashley died, I have not gone back to Kensington yet. It's been too painful to take on that. And so you would have seen me gone all almost teary-eyed just now, because it brought back those memories of those days, spending lots of time there with him, and also with the Barbados team at North Stars. You know, that was wonderful to see our guys do well, and especially when Barbados had won the tournament that year. That was amazing. Also, you know, we were so excited. The guys were excited, you know. They stayed there all night. The cricket was fantastic. The guys didn't want to leave. The buses were ready, and nobody wanted to leave North Stars from that evening. It was one of the most amazing experiences at cricket at North Stars that I would have experienced. So we look forward that one day something like that can happen there again, hopefully in my lifetime.
So I'm going to invite each of you ladies now to really tell me what you were looking forward to. I know a lot of people started to speak about the Prime Minister and the health officials and others allowing crowds to be at Kensington if cricket players. But remember, I remember even the ongoing test series that West Indies is playing now.
We are all out for 149.
149 all out. And one of the things that I wanted to find out from you ladies, genuinely, I'm gonna start with the Sonia on this. But that balancing act, you know, that fully vaccinated people were allowed, I think, up to 400 at the stadium in St. Lucia. I saw that in the press. But
Yes.
what really the stadium here at Kensington holds just over 10,000. But how much do you think practically we could try to see if we can get in, and more importantly, wanting people who get in to be those people who are considered safe in this environment? I don't want to get into too much of the terminology because that can be very, very political, but I want you to tell me what you think we should strive to do going forward when it comes to regional cricket.
You're speaking about regional
cricket, yeah, regional cricket.
Yeah, but even you know that regional cricket don't attract big crowds in any event.
Yes.
It's true. It's true.
Don't attract big crowds. So there should be no restrictions on crowds at Kensington for regional cricket.
No, I
And
agree with that.
let me slip with the regional, since you're letting me know how you feel when it comes to the Australia International Series, which is in July. What do you think? We should have a little cap on them. What do you think? What is your honest view?
Right, for the international cricket. Yeah, the international cricket, you could probably put a cap on it. But who is to determine now how big this cap would be? Because another thing, a lot of people are scared. So a lot of people are not going places because of COVID. So I do not anticipate that opening up for cricket, you're going to have these big crowds because, as I said, people are scared. So even if you put a cap on it, the cap might still be a bit too much because you're not going to get those crowds, Stephen. You're not going to get those crowds at Kensington during this COVID time.
The point is well taken. I mean, Australia just came with a crew of persons where some of their leading cricketers, for different reasons, chose not to come. So I can come to Denise. I mean, again, how do you feel about
I concur with Sonia.
Yeah.
With regional cricket, Barbados Pride, I mean, you don't have a lot of people there. So you don't need to cap that. The amount of people in there, we could spread out in Kensington 3 times. If 3 or 4 times. So you don't need to put a cap with that. With the international cricket, as Sonia said, I don't think a lot of people are going because a lot of people are still scared. But what I will say, if you feel that you want to cap it or you want to in some way make people feel safe, well then say people that are vaccinated will be able to come. I know that is going to cause a lot of problems still too, because people are going to say you're discriminated. But that's the way how I feel. If that's only my opinion, if you want to see cricket, and the only way I can see it working is if you let people, fully vaccinated people. I can't see it working any other way. And as you said, Kensington holds 10,000. Even if you put it at half the capacity, you're not even going to get 5,000 people in there. Not for this series that coming up. I think people are going to play a wait and see. let me see how it goes, how it turns out, that kind of way. I have the same problem. I work with the Barbados Turf Club on race days. And yesterday we had our first spectator-less play. And I mean, it was not, I accustomed to the crowd, I accustomed to the people and stuff, but it was, to me, it was dead. When I say dead, I mean, you had the usual owners and trainers, but it was dead to me. So I don't know. The Prime Minister has to, the sports people and the BCA can have to come to some sort of level of agreement and let us think. But we want to see cricket at Kensington. That's all I can tell you. We want to see cricket at Kensington. Because you know when the Barbados Pride playing, you know there's three people in Kensington, it's me, Lana, and Sonia. You know that for sure.
I know that for sure. And this is going to be the wrap up. This is going to be the wrap up round of question per se because of the time that we've agreed to. And again, I'm going to allow Lynthia to offer her views similar to what the other two ladies did about regional and international cricket coming up. But the last bit, I also want each of us to just give a view of what they think that the BCA could do. BCA has done a tremendous amount of work, as you know, pre-COVID, and we now continue to do it during COVID. Is there anything that you might be able to cite as leading women in the different cricket areas that you are in that you can actually point out in your closing remarks? Lynthia?
For me, I think the BCA can assist clubs like North Stars with coaches. We are in dire need of a coach, and there are other clubs that need help with having a coach. We cannot afford to pay somebody to coach, but the guys need that. I've been trying my best to see if I can entice somebody to come with a little stipend, but it's not working. I can't find anybody that is willing to travel to St. Lucie to do that. And I think that's something that I had asked the BCA before if we can get some assistance. And I think I need to pursue it further to ensure, because we've been at second division and intermediate for a long time, and we need that push. We need to get promoted. We've been here stagnant for too long. And I think having a coach, we have some really good guys, very talented guys, but we need that assistance. We need that assistance in having somebody there to guide these guys further.
Thanks a lot for that, Lynthia. And I'm going to come over to Lana. Anything that she would like to part with in terms of her contribution, what she thinks BCA can do to help enhance our cricket?
Well, what I can say is that in respect to like the cutting of the fields, I'm not saying that the BCA is not doing a good job, but I think we need a lot of assistance in like preparation of the fields, the outfields and stuff like that. And more so when they have the games that are scheduled for your ground, we would like some assistance sometimes with that. You know, like preparation and stuff like that. Then we have grounds people, yes, but sometimes I don't want to say it's not up to par, if you understand what I'm saying. So if we can get assistance like cutting the field, I mean the wicket would be done, but like cleaning up around the area and stuff like that, that would be nice.
Thank you very much, Lana. Sonia and Denise, strong supporters of the club, strong supporters of Barbados Pride and West Indies cricket. Tell me what you think the BCA can do to help any of those three areas going forward.
I don't know.
Sonia.
I think, I don't know where you will get the funds from, but I think it is time that the BCA find some location for some indoor nets, that these guys can do some training when we have bad weather. You can do some training late in the evenings, you know, like that. I think we need some indoor facilities to assist our cricketers, our young cricketers, because as you know, Stephen, it's the rainy season, and from the time the rain set up You can't do anything. So see if you can get some money from Get the BCA to raise some money and find a facility and invest in some nice indoor nets for these youngsters.
Thanks for that. Very valuable.
I
Denise?
concur with Sonia. I think the same. I am thinking the same thing too, because you guys need to train after. Sometimes you leave work and you need to train. Indoor facility with lights and stuff. I think so.
Thanks. I want to thank the entire group: Lynthia Skeete, Sonia Dowrich, Denise Holder, Lana Nurse, for joining me, Stephen Leslie, in our 4th Women in Cricket webinar. And I just want you ladies to keep safe and make sure you continue to do the tremendous work that you do. And we will do our best to speak with the relevant authorities to get not just international cricket back, but that important club cricket that we all enjoy.
It's true.
Have a great evening, ladies, and thanks for coming, being part of this important discussion.
Thank you,
very much.
Stephen. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure. Take care. Have a good day.